The war was over, but its echoes still burned across the stars. Subterranea and Earth lay scarred, their defenses battered, their people exhausted. Francis, the hero of two worlds, had fallen in battle, a legend buried beneath the crust of a now silent world. But from the ashes of sorrow, a vision emerged, not of hiding, not of mourning, but of transcendence. Humanity would not wait for the next threat to arrive. It would rise. Commanders Alex and Marcus, sons of Francis and Talion, convened the greatest minds of both worlds, not in bunkers, not in silos, but in the halls of New Dawn, a city forged beneath the molten crust of Venus. There, amidst the whispers of plasma winds and geothermal symphonies, a singular decision reshaped history. Humanity would move their base to the Andromeda Galaxy. It was not madness. It was strategy, a new frontier, a new home, one that could not be ambushed, cornered, or contained. One where the ashes of Francis's dream could bloom into a civilization that could not only survive, but dominate. Massive wormhole gates were constructed beneath Subterranea's core, pulsing, twisting tunnels of space-time carved with quantum drills and dark matter stabilizers. Millions watched as the first Exodus fleet lifted into orbit. Sleek, obsidian vessels armed with silvery solar sails and embedded with living AI cores capable of healing themselves in real time. It was more than migration. It was the start of a galactic empire. But they did not go alone. The alien-turned-humans who had once defected from Baba Yaga's dominion traveled with them. Their loyalty proven in the war, they were no longer outcasts. They were family. And among them rose a figure who would become legend in his own right. Kareth Valen, once a genetic warlord bred for obedience. Kareth rebelled against his masters. After his conversion to human form, a choice made at great cost, his mind evolved beyond the limits of alien programming. His voice bore the gravity of collapsing star. His mind operated with the logic of machines and the intuition of prophets. But his soul, reborn to the subterranean cause, was human, and that made him dangerous. Brilliantly dangerous. It was Kareth who designed the Sentinel Grid, a defense system that wrapped the Andromeda base in a reactive mesh of AI-controlled satellites, cloaked disruptor fields, and pulse cannons that could slice through neutron armor like silk. It was Kareth who helped Marcus and Alex decode the alien relics stolen from Baba Yaga's core vault, repurposing them into tech humanity could now master. And it was Kareth who warned them first. The silence between galaxies isn't emptiness, he said. It's breathing, watching, preparing. That single quote became etched on every council wall, every training center, every academy across the new empire. The Andromeda base was built around Starcore Null, a dead star harnessed as a power source, its gravitational remnants bound in stasis fields and used to bend physics itself. Cities floated in zero-G spheres, moving with mathematical perfection. Energy farms spiraled like glass serpents around magnetic currents. The population lived in harmony with advanced AI constructs that had emotional mimicry and loyalty protocols inspired by Francis's teachings. But it wasn't just about survival. It was about unity. For the first time, the Galactic Council was formed. 5 humans, 5 alien-turned-humans, 1 AI arbiter, judges, diplomats, strategists, historians, all races, 1 agenda, peace through dominance, wisdom through balance. Here, humans were not conquerors but catalysts. The aliens knew, without human creativity, they were just memory. Without human chaos, they were just order. And without human unpredictability, they could never win the next war. So they shared everything: biotechnology, planet-forming engines, anti-void cloaks. And in return, humanity gave them philosophy, innovation, art, and the spark of rebellion, because rebellion, properly aimed, could free galaxies. Alex, now Supreme Commander, stood before the first generation of Andromedan children, hybrids of Earth, Subterranea, and the stars. His voice thundered the crystalline towers of Hopespire City. You were born from struggle, but your birthright is freedom. You are not Earth's children. You are not Subterranea's children. You are the future galaxies. The crowds roared. But peace never comes without a price. A strange signal, emerged from the outer rims of Andromeda. Not hostile, not friendly. It spoke in prime numbers, then emotions, then memories. When decoded, it showed visions of a forgotten race, one older than stars, buried in the void between galaxies. A race watching the rise of humanity, testing their resolve. Kareth, who once led wars across neutron planes, looked up from the decoded images with haunted eyes. "They're not gods," he said. "They're the ones who make gods kneel." But Alex only smiled. "Then it's time we remind them who taught gods a dream." Plans for the Orion Bastion began, a mobile superstructure larger than any moon, capable of folding space-time around itself. It would be both spear and shield, a homeworld and a warship. On its hull, etched in gold light, would be the name, Francis Prime. Kareth volunteered to command its first mission, not because he sought glory, but because he believed in the human dream more than most humans did. "I was made to obey," he told Marcus, "but you taught me how to choose. Now I choose to defend what we built." The transmission of that speech went viral across hundreds of human and alien colonies. It was replayed at academies, broadcast into deep space, and even used by AI motivators for training soldiers. Kareth, the once enslaved, now stood as one of the Empire's greatest offenders. Proof that identity wasn't biology, it was belief. The final scenes of the broadcast show Kareth in the command chamber, stars stretching like silver veins around him. As the Orion Bastion hums to life, Kareth gives a final command. "Light the stars. Let them know we're here." And with that, the human-alien empire surged forward, beyond Subterranea, beyond Mars, beyond fear, toward forever. The stars no longer whispered. They spoke, in code, in strategy, in unity. Andromeda was no longer a dream. It was the future. The Citadel of Stars, a shimmering megastructure suspended within the gravitational web of Starcore Null, became humanity's new beacon. No longer just survivors, humans had evolved into orchestrators of peace, guardians of order and warriors of destiny. But building peace across galaxies was not a matter of hope. It was a matter of design. And it began with the Galactic Council. Formed in the depths of Citadel's triune dome, 3 interconnected towers, spiraling toward the void. The Council was the pulse of a new civilization. 10 seats circled the core of convergence. 5 occupied by human leaders from Subterranea, Earth, and Martian colonies, and 5 by alien-turned-human representatives whose DNA bore the legacy of both rebellion and rebirth. Their faces were diverse, their hearts synchronized. Kareth Valen, the war-forged strategist, sat beside Mira Voss, a diplomat who once served under the dying stars of Antari Prime before swearing fealty to humanity. Beside them, Elena Dracos, Earth's AI ethics minister, debated protocols with Admiral Xylan, a former High Inquisitor turned Subterranean loyalist. Above them floated the Sentient Sphere, a quantum AI node called Lucaris, capable of predicting galactic-scale political movements and offering unbiased counsel. Neither human nor alien, Lucaris was the ever-watchful witness to all decisions, and its presence ensured no race could dominate the Council unchecked. Beneath the Council Tower, stretching like neural pathways to the Citadel, ran the Unified Surveillance Grid, USG, a symbiosis of human quantum processors and alien bio-optic sentinels. This system monitored the Andromeda expanse, Earth, Mars, and Subterranea simultaneously. Every transport, every signal, every anomaly was traced and cross-referenced by the second. Unlike past regimes of paranoia, the USG wasn't a weapon of fear, but a promise of safety. And the data flowed into the orbital planning nexus, a gravity-anchored brain of the new civilization, orbiting Starcore Null like a third eye. Inside its glass-like dome, cartographers, tacticians, and architects from hundreds of species rendered real-time strategy maps, reconstruction zones, terraforming status reports, and potential breach vectors. This was no ordinary war room. It was a symphony of civilization where minds, not missiles, drew the first line of defense. And still, none of it would mean anything without soldiers. Enter the command Citadel of Marcus. Left as supreme overseer of military development within Andromeda, Marcus, son of Talion and trained under Francis himself, had become the embodiment of subterranean martial evolution. With Kareth returning to the outer fringes of the galaxy to oversee Bastion expansion, Marcus took command of the Citadel core, a planet-sized training compound orbiting Andromeda's artificial moons. Here, the next generation of galactic defenders was born. Humans, hybrids, and even reconditioned alien warforms now wore the same insignia, a phoenix rising from the fractured Earth and Subterranea, ringed by stars. It was more than a symbol. It was transformation. Marcus oversaw the construction of the Crucible Rings, 12 rotating platforms that simulated diverse combat zones, from subterranean jungle ravines to Martian sky trenches and zero-gravity asteroid fields. Every hour, thousands of recruits engage in adaptive war games monitored by neural-linked AI that customize difficulty based on soldier growth curves. "We're not training for today's enemy," Marcus often said. "We're training for what tomorrow dares to become." And on Earth and Subterranea, reinforcements surged. Old bunkers became relay citadels. Mountains were hollowed to host wormhole docks and vertical launch bays. Subterranean biomes, once secret paradises, now contained reflex arsenals, hybrid weapon vaults that mixed alien crystal resonance with human combustion physics. Ancient alien ruins, one study for curiosity, were re-engineered into planetary defense nodes. But mobility was the new currency of power. Thus, the celestial railways were born. These weren't trains. They were intergalactic arcs, light-speed transit stations laced through artificial wormhole corridors that allowed seamless transport between Earth, Subterranea, Mars, and Andromeda in under 9 minutes. From the Andromeda hub, transport routes like Exodus Prime and Subcore Line 7 ensured reinforcements could reach critical zones faster than threats could manifest. Humanity wasn't just ready. It was omnipresent. Yet, war wasn't the only training they received. The Echelon Academies, spread across floating learning cities on Andromeda's moons, focus on diplomacy, AI ethics, alien psychology, and cultural unification. These were the minds that would one day command fleets, draft peace treaties, and decode threats that could not be silenced with weapons. And while Marcus trained these armies and shaped these minds within Andromeda's core, his brother-in-arms, Alex, son of Francis, led the elite. Based on Revenant Station, a stealth citadel orbiting a dark energy star, Alex commanded a unit known only as the Black Crescent. Special operatives trained for operations that even the Council couldn't fully declassify. They had no insignia, no name, only purpose. Their drills went beyond combat. They practiced psychological infiltration, antimatter containment, and gravitational combat. When a new threat emerged, a drifting vessel from the void zones broadcasting ancient symbols, Alex personally led the investigation. "It's not about fear," he told his officers. "It's about reminding the unknown that we are no longer afraid." Meanwhile, Marcus continued shaping an army of millions, ensuring every soldier not only fought, but understood. Understood why Francis died, why Subterranea was built, why peace must be protected not just by might, but by memory. The atmosphere of this new galaxy was nothing like Earth. In Nebula Sector V-17, gravity curved visibly around neutron fountains. Bioluminescent clouds shimmered as natural beacons. Entire asteroid belts had been tethered together to form orbital habitats. Even the stars pulsed differently, as if recognizing the presence of new tenants. Kareth's Sentinel grid hung silently above them all, watching, adapting, evolving. On the last day of Council cycle, a message was broadcast across all sectors. Marcus stood on the arena stage of the Crucible Rings, his voice projected to millions. "We do not build empires for domination. We build them for legacy. We are not the ones who hide. We are the ones who rise. And when the void stirs again, when the dark gods knock on the gates of our galaxy, they will not find fear. They will find the children of Earth, the warriors of Subterranea, the empire of light." The soldiers rose. One voice, one purpose. Across galaxies, the stars bore witness, not to an ending, but to the beginning of a new chapter. The empire of humanity and allies, a force born of death, forged in defiance, and destined to write the laws of the cosmos.